What if I told you that the United States, a country that today boasts the world's most powerful economy and military, almost didn't exist? What if its rise to global power began with bloodshed, betrayal, and impossible odds? And what if the most significant moments in its history were shaped by decisions that could have gone entirely the other way? In this video, we're diving deep into the story of the United States. From its colonial birth to its rise as a world superpower, we will uncover the moments that shaped this nation. And trust me, you'll be on the edge of your seat, questioning, what if it all fell apart? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll see the USA in a whole new light. The birth of a nation, conflict and rebellion. The year is 1776. Imagine a world where 13 colonies, scattered along the eastern coast of North America, are living under the rule of a distant empire, Great Britain. These colonies were flourishing economically and developing their own sense of identity, but one thing they lacked was true independence. They were subjects of a foreign king, paying taxes to a government thousands of miles away. Now imagine you are a colonist, living under harsh rules. The British Crown, under King George III, is imposing taxes on everyday goods, tea, paper, glass, without any representation in Parliament. Do you stand for it? In 1773, frustration reached a boiling point. Colonists, disguised as Native Americans, dumped over 300 chests of British tea into the Boston Harbor, an act that would forever change the course of history. The British retaliated. The colonies, united in their frustration, found themselves on the brink of war. The American Revolution was no longer a distant possibility, it was a reality. But the question was this: could the colonists, outgunned and outnumbered, defeat the might of the British Empire? They had no standing army, no real military experience, yet they did have one key advantage. George Washington, a young but ambitious Virginian, would step up as the commander of the Continental Army. And this is where the story gets even more improbable. Washington was no military genius. In fact, many doubted his abilities. His first few battles were disastrous, and the Continental Army was on the verge of disbanding. But Washington, with determination and a bit of luck, turned the tide at pivotal moments. What was the turning point that gave the Americans their first real victory? How did a ragtag militia manage to outsmart the mighty British Empire? Stay tuned, because soon we'll uncover how this war for independence became a struggle that would define the United States forever. Civil War, Reconstruction, and the rise to global power. The year is 1861. The election of Abraham Lincoln as president sparks the secession of 11 southern states. The Union is on the brink of war. On one side, the North, fighting to preserve the Union and end slavery. On the other, the South, determined to maintain its way of life. The Civil War would become the bloodiest conflict in American history. Over 600,000 lives would be lost. And yet, in the midst of the war, a new vision of freedom began to take root. Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 would not just change the course of the war, it would change the course of history itself, declaring all slaves in the Confederate States to be free. The Union won the war in 1865, but the Reconstruction that followed was a new battle, one for the very soul of America. How could the nation heal its deep divisions? Could the newly freed slaves truly become equal citizens in a society built on racial inequality? Though slavery was abolished, racism and segregation persisted. It would take nearly a century before the civil rights movement gained momentum, fighting for justice and equality, and demanding that the promise of America be fulfilled for all its citizens. By the early 20th century, despite the internal battles, America began to rise to global prominence. The world wars, industrialization, and a booming economy would position the United States as a global superpower. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The Cold War would ignite a fierce competition between the United States and the Soviet Union, a race to space, a nuclear arms race, and ideological battles would define the second half of the century. But through it all, America's strength, resilience, and vision kept it at the top of the world stage. But here's the big question. In a world that's rapidly changing, with new global challenges rising, will the United States maintain its superpower status? Or is it on the brink of something entirely new? Could history repeat itself, and could America's dominance end? The call to reflection. The history of the United States is a testament to the power of vision, struggle, and reinvention. But as we look to the future, we must ask ourselves, can the lessons of the past help us shape the world of tomorrow? Whether you're in Pakistan, India, or the USA, the story of America is a story for all of us, a reminder that history is always in the making. Thanks for watching, and remember, the future belongs to those who understand the past.